Okay, we'll start soon. Okay, let us pay homage to the Triple Gem. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Okay, very good morning and good evening, everyone. Welcome back to our course after New Year break. I hope everyone had enjoyed your New Year day. Okay, let me share screen. Okay, can you all see the screen? See my screen share. Can you see?
Sure, yes, Bande.
Okay, so today we are gonna study Sabbāsava Sutta. Sabbāsava Sutta from the English Tipitaka MN2, MN2, which means this sutta recorded in the uh, Majjhima Nikaya. Yeah, MN is a abbreviation of Majjhima Nikaya 2. This is if you want to refer to English Tipitaka version, but for Cambodian or Khmer version, you can find from the volume 20 and page 20 សព្វាសវៈនៅសភៅខ្មែរហ្នឹងវាហៅសព្វាសវៈសោតក៏បានឬក៏យើងអាចឃើញពាក្យថាសព្វាសវៈសង្វរៈសោតទី2ណានៅក្នុងបេដកខ្មែរណាបេដកភាគ20ទំព័រពី20ទៅហ្នឹងអាចមើលជាភាសាខ្មែរបាន Okay, so just like I already shared before, there are at least four main references. You can read the sutta, like the Pali Text Society, Access to Insight, Sutta Central, Buddha Vajana. So any of these, you may find the sutta itself, whatever sutta there is in from the Tipitaka, like this one from yeah, this one is the Sutta Central. So each of the reference you may find a little bit, a little bit different in terms of how uh, they translate it. So you see, this is the title, Sabbāsava Sutta, which means all the defilements. But from the access to insight, yeah, according to Thanissaro Bhikkhu translation, they translate as the fermentations, all the fermentation. And if you change it to different authors, this one is from Burma Pitaka Association. So they rather keep the Pali term as the discourse on all asavas. Yeah, because there may be not a single translation that would fit in the Pali term asava. Yeah. So today we're gonna dive deep a little bit. This is my PowerPoint presentation. In later on you can make your own presentation too. For example, from the original sutta, you can break into break it down. You can make it more detailed, like a research style, You can also make a summary, in order to grab the whole idea of the sutta. Just like, for example, just like what I have made. You can make your own style, any of the sutta that you have studied. For example, the Four Noble Truths you have already finished, and it is very long sutta, but you can make in your own version, if you were to give a presentation to other people, to those who never study the Four Noble Truths, how are you gonna make, to summarize it or to make an overview, the whole idea of the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, make it shorter and more precise, clear understanding, So this is how I just made it to give more detail about the Sabbāsava Sutta. Yeah, you can come up by giving definition, what does it mean, Sabbāsava Sutta, according to the Pali term, the etymology, the translation, and then different types of asava. Yeah, so all this, I'm breaking it down, like more detail from the sutta, but you can also summarize it, make it the way you easily understand, and also for others to learn easily from you, so you can make your own style. Yeah. Okay. So we're just gonna go a little bit to the original sutta. All the defilements. A little bit of history here. Why the Buddha expound these discourses, and what does that mean? What's the whole concept of the sutta? Okay, and where was this delivered? So we can see from the historical background all the defilements. So I have heard at one time the Buddha was staying near Savatthi in Chetas Grove, Anathapindika's monastery. There, the Buddha addressed mendicants. Mendicant นั่นคือ Bhikkhu, equal to Bhikkhu. Venerable Sir, they replied, the Buddha said this, mendicants or old Bhikkhu, I will teach you the explanation of the restraints of all defilements. Listen and apply your mind well, I will speak. Yes, sir, they replied, the Buddha said this. Mendicants, I say that the ending of defilement is for one who knows and sees, not for one who does not know or see. For one who knows and sees what? Rational application of mind and irrational application of mind. When you apply the mind irrationally, defilements arise, and once arisen, they grow. When you apply the mind rationally, defilements don't arise, and those that have already arisen are given up. Some defilements should be given up by seeing, some by restraint, some by using, some by enduring, some by avoiding, some by dispelling, and some by developing. Yes, this is overview idea of the sutta. The Buddha expounded at Savatthi in the Anathapindika's monastery in Savatthi to a group of bhikkhus about how to restrain or how to remove defilement, impurities from the mind, kilesa, หรือก็ asava in Pali term. And what is asava? So we will learn uh, the translation and the detail is given below here. So if you read all this, you will understand more, and you can make some notes, along the reading. Okay, so let me just come back with what I have prepared here. Sabbāsava Sutta, the title. This is a Pali term, and it can be separated into terms from Pali. It is Sabbā plus Asava. Sabbā plus Asava. Sabbā meansទាំងពួង. Sabbā means all, and Asava means there's a few terminology that have used in different texts. So the very most popular one, asava, is translated as a canker, fermentation, poison, defilement, care and trouble, effluent, inflow, influx, influence, mental bias, etc. There may be more. In Cambodian language we say as គ្រឿងស្រវឹងណាអាសវៈហ្នឹងគឺជាគ្រឿងស្រវឹងឬក៏ជាគ្រឿងដេកត្រាំណាគ្រឿងដេកត្រាំមានន័យថាគ្រឿងសៅហ្មងដែលដេកត្រាំនៅក្នុងសន្តានចិត្តរបស់យើងហ្នឹងយូរមកហើយគ្រឿងស្រវឹងគ្រឿងអីទៅដែលស្រវឹងធ្វើឲ្យយើងស្រវឹងនៅក្នុងចិត្តនៅក្នុងទិដ្ឋិរបស់យើងហ្នឹងអញ្ចឹងយើងនឹងសិក្សា Sabbāsava Sutta, the discourse on all cankers, all fermentations, all defilements, cares and troubles, or we can say the sutta that talks about getting rid of all cares and troubles, getting rid of all cankers. That is the terminology. So you can do more research, about etymology. This is I extract from Bhikkhu Bodhi. He explained the term asava. So Bhikkhu Bodhi was one of the Tipitaka translators, and he is in New York, from New York. According to Bhikkhu Bodhi, the commentaries derive the word from a root su, meaning to flow. ពាក្យថាអាសវៈណាចឹងមានស័ព្ទដើមមកពីសុណា meaning to flow. Scholars differ as to whether the flow implied by the prefix a is inward or outward. Hence, some have rendered it as influx, influences, outflows, effluences. Ajahn Sucitto, on his book Karma and the End of Karma, described asava as the underlying biases that fabricate things, emotion, sensations, and responses, which condition grasping through which samsara operates. So it relates to how the samsara function, because this asava has a power to drive the forces, to becoming, to reconnect, rebirths. This is the meaning from Ajahn Sucitto. We can dive more deep about this. According to Bhikkhu Bodhi, he stated that a stock passage in the sutta indicates the term's real significance independently of etymology when it describes asava as states that defile, bring renewal of existence, give trouble, ripen in suffering, and lead to future births, aging, and death. This is according to Majjhima Nikaya. ចឹងលោកបញ្យល់ពីអាសវៈនឹងបន្ថែមពាក្យថាអាសវៈហ្នឹងគឺអ្វីដែលធ្វើឲ្យចិត្តសៅហ្មង that defile ធ្វើឲ្យចិត្តហ្នឹងសៅហ្មង impure the mind, bring renewal of existence.
Ông just share screen maintain.
Can you see the screen?
I see, but I don't see your slide.
ឃើញទាំងអស់នេះឃើញ slide
ឃើញតែព្រះអង្គ share defilement given.
Okay, let me try to share. Thank you for letting that I'm sharing this.
កណាឃើញ
ចឹងមើលហើយជាញោមមានបញ្ហាមក share សាថ្មីទៀត Okay, stop share. Let me do screen share again. So some may not see it. Entire screen. Okay, let me go with entire screen. Thì nhóm khơi nhà presentation ấy. Cái
Lời khơi
slide.
tin.
Okay.
Tâm
Can I
khơi nè.
chat?
Okay. So let me continue again. This is the terminology and little bit definition of the Sabbāsava Sutta. And here, according to Bhikkhu Bodhi, he described asava as things that defile, bring renewal of existence, give trouble, repent in suffering, and lead to future birth and aging and death. Yeah. ចឹងអាសវៈហ្នឹងគឺធ្វើឲ្យចិត្តសៅហ្មងអាសវៈហ្នឹងជាគ្រឿងណាបន្តនៅភពថ្មីវាជាគ្រឿងតភ្ជាប់នៃអឺបច្ចុប្បន្នឬក៏បច្ចុប្បន្នជាតិនេះទៅឲ្យមានកំណើតថ្មីទៀតឬក៏អាសវៈនេះជាគ្រឿងដែលនាំមកនៅបញ្ហាដែល give trouble give problem it cause disturbances in the mind, you know, and lead to suffering, lead to future rebirth, aging, and death. So there's a few, explanation from different authors. We can read it a lot. Okay, so what are the asavas? What are the cankers? In this sutta, the Buddha mentioned there are 4 types of cankers. 4 types of asava. Okay, you can remember the Pali term asava. There are 4 types of asava. First one, kamasava. Second one, bhavasava. Third, tithasava. Fourth, avijjasava. So kamasava means the canker of sensuality, the canker of sensual desire. Based on the 5 senses, based on the 5 senses through eye, ear, nose, tongue, and body, it gives rise to desire, sensual desire, because through seeing something that make you attached, and then it will give rise to sensual desire that arise through eye, sensual desire that arise through ear, so and so. And the second one, bhavasava. ភវៈណាទីខាងលើហ្នឹងកាមាសវៈមានន័យថាកាមៈ plus អាសវៈកាមៈ plus អាសវៈ and the second one, ភវៈ plus អាសវៈ ភវៈ mean rebirth or becoming, the canker of becoming, clinging to rebirth. This is you can find in the Samudaya Ariya Satya, the second noble truth, the cause of suffering. There are 3 types of tanha, right? 3 types of tanha. You have kama tanha, bhava tanha, and vibhava tanha. So the attachment of becoming, attachment of sensual desire, attachment of non-becoming. This that is from Samudaya Ariya Satya. So here you can find similar things again regarding the defilements or the cankers. The third one, tithasava, tithi plus asava, the canker of wrong view. Tithasava គឺការយល់ខុសអាសវៈនៃទិដ្ឋិ Number 4, avijjasava, avijjaបូកនឹងអាសវៈ avijjasava, the canker of ignorance. Only 4 types. Asava 4, kamasava, bhavasava, tithasava, and avijjasava. So easy to remember. Okay, this is a little bit explanation from Rai David. Freedom from the asavas constitutes arahantship. freedom from asava constitute arahantship, which means this asava also represent all types of impurities or defilement of the mind. When they all are got rid of, so you are said to be free, completely free or attain arahantship. According to Bhikkhu Bodhi, when the disciple's mind is liberated from the taints by the completion of the path of arahantship, he reviews his newly won freedom and roars his lion's roar. Birth is destroyed, the spiritual life has been lived, and what had to be done has been done. There is no more coming back to any state of being. So he explained the freedom that gained from eradication of this asava is said to attain the ultimate goal of the ultimate liberation in Buddhism, which is arahantship. Yeah, this is the, in a way, we can say that by overcoming or removing all these four asava, one is said to attain full enlightenment, become arahant, right? Become arahant. So in this sutta, it also mentioned the 7 ways to eradicate or dispel the defilement, right? 7 methods from the sutta. The Buddha mentioned 7 methods of removing cankers. Okay, make it short. The first method is by seeing. Second one, restraining. Third, using. Fourth, enduring. Fifth, avoiding. Sixth, dispelling. 7, by developing. Yeah, this is the 7 way to remove cankers. So you have a Pali term, the first method is dasana, asava, dasana, paha, tapa. This you wrote in Khmer. Asava, dasana, paha, tapa. This is a full term. Asava, dasana, paha, tapa. To abandon it or to give up by seeing. Dasana, Pali term is dasana, by seeing. And by restraining, sangvara, paha, tapa. By using, padisevana, paha, tapa. Enduring, athivasana, paha, tapa. By avoiding, parivajana, paha, tapa. By dispelling, vinodana, paha, tapa. And finally, by developing bhavana, bhavana បហាតបានឹងគឺជារបៀបដែលយើងដោះស្រាយជាមួយកិលេសណាញាតិញោមវិធីសាស្ត្រដែលព្រះអង្គសម្ដែងក្នុងបទសូត្រសព្វាសវៈសូត្រទី2ហ្នឹងគឺព្រះអង្គផ្ដល់នៅវិធីសាស្ត្រ7យ៉ាងនៅក្នុងការកម្ចាត់បងនៅកិលេសដោយការឃើញណាទស្សនាទេសនាបហាតពាហ្នឹងគឺកិលេសខ្លះលះបង់ដោយការឃើញប៉ុន្តែឃើញយ៉ាងម៉េចអានឹងយើងសិក្សាទៅទៀតដោយការឃើញមួយដោយការសង្រួមសង្វរាណាការសង្រួមបដិសេវនាដោយការអីគេការសែបគប់ប្រើប្រាស់អធិវាសនាដោយការអត់ធ្មត់ខន្តីអធិវាសនា enduring អត់ធ្មត់ខន្តីព្យាយាមណាហើយទី5បរិវចនាណាបរិវចនាហ្នឹងគឺដោយការលះបង់វិណោតនាណាដោយការបន្តបង់ប្រឡែងចោលហើយទី7ភាវនាគឺលះបង់ដោយការចម្រើនកិលេសខ្លះតើតែហ្វឹកហាត់ដោយការបណ្ដុះបណ្ដាលដោយការភាវនាហ្នឹង so these are the 7 types. Okay, so seeing the first one, what do we see? What is the thing that one sees and does not give rise to canker, but instead it will remove the canker? What does one see? Okay, so let's go back to the original sutta. The first one, defilements given up by seeing. And what are the, okay, can you see my screen right now? I'm sharing the sutta.
Yes, Monday.
Okay, now what do we see? Yeah, what are we seeing that can remove the canker? Okay, here from the sutta, what are the defilements that should be given up by seeing? Take an unlearned ordinary person, Patujana, who has not seen the noble ones and is neither skilled nor trained in the teachings of the noble ones. They have not seen through true persons and are neither skilled nor trained in the teaching of the true persons. They don't understand to which things they should apply the mind and to which things they should not apply the mind. So they apply the mind to things they shouldn't, and they don't apply the mind to the thing they should. ហ្នឹងគឺលើកឡើងអំពីបុគ្គលថាពុទ្ធជនហើយនឹងអរិយបុគ្គលខុសគ្នាយ៉ាងម៉េចគឺទស្សនៈឬគឺការគិតទិដ្ឋិឬការឃើញហ្នឹងគឺឃើញខុសគ្នាយ៉ាងម៉េចបុគ្គលដែលបានអប់រំល្អហើយគឺរមែងមានការឃើញត្រូវណាហ្នឹងហើយអ្វីណាដែលគួរទុកដាក់ក្នុងចិត្តនិងអ្វីណាដែលមិនគួរទុកដាក់ក្នុងចិត្តមានន័យថារក្សាចិត្តត្រូវតម្កល់ចិត្តត្រូវក្នុងន័យហ្នឹងណា and what are the things to which they apply the mind but should not? They are the things that when the mind is applied to them give rise to unarisen defilements and make arisen defilements grow. The defilements of what? Defilements of sensual desire, desire to be reborn, and ignorance. These are the things to which they apply the mind, but should not. Yeah. Which means they apply the mind in a wrong way, based on their wrong understanding. សម្រាប់បុគ្គលដែលតម្កល់ចិត្តខុសហ្នឹងកាលណាបង្កល់ចិត្តខុសកិលេសដែលមិនទាន់កើតធ្វើឲ្យកិលេសហ្នឹងកើតឡើងហើយកិលេសដែលមានហើយហ្នឹងគឺកាន់តែចម្រើនឡើងនៅពេលដែលបុគ្គលតម្កល់ចិត្តនឹងខុសតម្កល់ចិត្តទៅខុសធ្វើឲ្យអាសវៈ4យ៉ាងនេះកើតឡើងហ្នឹងតាំងពីកាមាសវៈទិដ្ឋាសវៈអីជាដើមហ្នឹងណា and what are the things to which they do not apply the mind but should things they should not apply but they apply, right? They are the things that when the mind is applied to them do not give rise to unarisen defilements and give up a recent defilement. The defilements of sensual desire, desire to be reborn, and ignorance. These are the things to which they do not apply the mind, but should. Yeah, which means this thing they should apply the mind, like the thing that will lead to give up the arisen defilement, right? This thing they should apply, but they do not apply. Because of applying the mind to what they should not and not applying the mind to what they should, unarisen defilements arise and arisen defilements grow. This is how they apply the mind irrationally. Yeah, so they apply it in a wrong way, right? For example, did I exist in the past? Did I not exist in the past? What was I in the past? How was I in the past? So this is related to wrong understanding ណាសកាយតិដ្ឋិហ្នឹងហើយហ្នឹងគឺលោកលើកឡើងថាតើការដែលបុគ្គលរក្សាចិត្តតម្កល់ចិត្តមិនត្រូវហ្នឹងតម្កល់យ៉ាងម៉េចគឺមាននៅសកាយតិដ្ឋិប្រកាន់ខុសយល់ខុសឬក៏មាននៅវិជ្ជកិច្ឆាសង្ស័យណានេះតកតងនឹងសកាយតិដ្ឋិហ្នឹងថាជាតិមុនខ្ញុំមានទេខ្ញុំកើតទេមានខ្ញុំទេអនាគតយ៉ាងម៉េចអីយ៉ាងម៉េចអីចឹងទៅហ្នឹងគឺតកតងទៅនឹងការប្រកាន់ខុសនៅក្នុងតួខ្លួនណា After being what did I become in the past? Will I exist in the future? Will I not exist in the future? Will I be in the future? How will I be in the future? After being what? What will I become in the future? Or they are undecided about the present thus. Am I? Am I not? What am I? How am I? This sentient being, where did it come from and where will it go? Yeah. So there are 20 types of self-view. This is called self-view or Sakaya Tithi. When they apply the mind irrationally in this way, one of the following 6 views arises in them and is taken as a genuine fact. The view, myself survives. The view that myself does not survive. The view that I perceive the self with the self. The view that I perceive that is not self with self. The view that I perceive the self with what is not self, or they have such a view. This self of mine is he, the one who speaks, the one who knows, who experiences the results of good and bad deeds in all the different realms. This self is permanent, everlasting, eternal, and imperishable, and will last forever and ever. This is called misconception, the thicket of views, desert of views, twist of views, the dodge of views, the feathers of you. An unlearned ordinary person who is fettered by you is not free from rebirth, old age, and death, from sorrow, lamentation, pain, sadness, and distress. They are not free from suffering. Okay, kind of confused a little bit because it keep repeating, and comparing back and forth, back and forth. That's why I make a summary presentation here, so it's easier to understand when you grab the whole idea. So this explanation, they just do a comparison between the the learned person and the unlearned person, right? Between those who have trained their mind and those who have not trained the mind. Then it relates to how they view the world, how they see the world, based on their knowledge and understanding. That's why the Buddha said the first method of removing the cankers, it's all depends on how one sees things, how one understands the world, So it has to be removed by right seeing, right? Seeing likeទស្សនាបហាតាពាហ្នឹងវាស្មើនឹងសមាធិណាតើតែមាននៅការយល់ត្រូវហ្នឹងទៅធ្វើឲ្យកិលេសដែលកើតឡើងហើយហ្នឹងរលត់ទៅវិញឬក៏បង្ការបងការពារនៅកិលេសណាដែលរឿងសៅមកណាដែលមិនទាន់កើតឡើងទេកុំឲ្យកើតឡើងហ្នឹងដូចនៅក្នុងសមាបធាននៅក្នុងសមាវាយាមៈអញ្ចឹងសមាវាយាមៈយើងមាន4ណា like we have learned the 4 types of right effort, right? The first two relating with the unwholesome or evil state of the mind, and the other two relate with the wholesome or the good states of the mind. So here it relates with the one's understanding or knowledge of how one sees the world. And then the Buddha further mentioned what are the things to which they don't apply the mind and should not. They are the things that when the mind is applied to them, give rise or the same. Because of not applying the mind to what they should not and apply the mind to what they should, and the reason defilement don't arise and arise given up. They rationally apply the mind. Okay. This is the right setting of how you apply the mind, okay? The last part. They rationally apply the mind. This is suffering. This is origin of suffering. This is the cessation of suffering. This is the practice that leads to the cessation of suffering, right? The Four Noble Truths, the understanding of the Four Noble Truths is said to have right seeing or right view, right understanding. When the unlearned person sees the world They see the world as something pleasant, something everlasting, something that not change but will last forever. This is a wrong view about self, and so they wonder about how they come to this world and where they're going. Was there a self? Was there I? What am I? Or what am I not? So and so. This is the wrong view. Wrong view about self. Wrong view about the world. So that is not the right setting of the mind. So we should apply the mind according to the Four Noble Truths, right? That this is suffering, this is the origin of suffering, this is the cessation of suffering, this is the practice that leads to the cessation of suffering. And as they do so, they give up three factors. They give up three factors: the substantialist view, doubt, misapprehension of precepts and observances. These are called defilements that should be given up by seeing. ពាក្យ factor នេះប្រែថាសង្យោចនៈណាញាតិញោមរៀនអភិធម្មឃើញពាក្យសង្យោចនៈហ្នឹងគឺគ្រឿងចងគ្រឿងរូបរិទ្ធឬក៏ចាក់ស្រេះហ្នឹងស្តៀងអាសវៈដែរនៅអង្គធរហ្នឹងមាន10ដែរសង្យោចនៈ10 okay, let's get back to the presentation. Maybe you get confused a little bit with the explanation back and forth អាចមើលទៅរៀងរញ៉េរញ៉ៃប៉ុន្តែបើអានឲ្យយល់ចំណាយពេលអានប្រសូតនឹងឲ្យយល់ទៅមិនជាច្រឡំនេះទេយល់តែមួយយល់របៀបទាំង7យ៉ាង Okay, so Dasana Pahatapa, Asava, Dasana Pahatapa, the cankers that is removed by seeing. So I have summarized in 2 ways. Okay, make it short. The first type, okay, ayoniso manasikara, improper or unwise attention. Okay, and the other side is yoniso manasikara, proper or wise attention. So in the dasana pahadapa, cankers that remove by seeing, we have to compare between those who have no mindfulness and the other they have mindfulness, right? In order to apply their mind, how to have the right understanding and have the right view about the world, about everything in the universe, about self, So it related with yoniso or yoniso, right? Yoniso manasikara, it is when you have unwise attention. So you reflect in the wrong way, right? You make your mind in the wrong way. The uneducated ordinary person. So this is the term that used in the sutta. Uneducated or unlearned ordinary person. ហ្នឹងគឺពុទ្ធជនណាពុទ្ធជនៈ There are 16 kinds of wrong view that related to the idea of from the uneducated ordinary person. So what are the 16 kinds? Yeah. From this 16 kind leads to the arising of 6 kinds of wrong views. And then it give rise or arouse the cankers of sensual desire, wrong view, ignorance, and so on. So you have to relate, look back what are the 16 kinds of the 16 kinds of wrong view. In the original sutta, we have already read this one, the wrong view about self, like here. Okay, sorry. Yeah, from here. When they apply the mind irrationally, which means they apply the mind unwisely. Did I exist in the past? Did I not exist in the past? Okay. Yeah, so I have brought it up here. 16 kinds of wrong view. And this, the Buddha would never give an answer. There were some ascetics. There are some paripajika or ascetic in the Buddha's time. They used to ask the same question to the Buddha because they were wondering about themselves, whether they exist in the past, whether they're going to be reborn again in the past. Yeah, there are some people who always curious about those things, about the universe, how the universe come into existence, how are they're going to be destroyed. And so the same apply regarding to themselves. They wonder if they have exist in the past, they wonder what they're going to be in the future. So this thing the Buddha would never give answer. So in Sabbāsava Sutta, the Buddha identifies 16 questions that should be avoided. This question, translated by Bhikkhu Sujato, it related with the 3 phases of the time. So 5 with the past, 5 with the future, and the other 6 with the present. So when we make it like this, it become easier to understand the sutta, right? ចឹងញាតិញោមអាចរៀន summarize ប្រសូតដោយខ្លួនឯងយើងរៀនរបៀបម៉េចដើម្បីឲ្យងាយយល់ងាយចាំចឹងយើងរកវិធីទៅនេះក៏អាត្មាធ្វើជាឧទាហរណ៍យើងយកប្រសូតនីមួយៗមករៀនហ្នឹងយើងរៀបមេរៀនហ្នឹងយ៉ាងម៉េចឲ្យយើងងាយយល់ហ្នឹងហើយចឹងបើអានបាញ់មិញហ្នឹងយើងវល់តែយើង make ចេះទៅយើងស្រួលមើលណា so question about the past. Did I exist in the past? Did I not exist in the past? What was I in the past? How was I in the past? After being what did I become in the past? In Cambodia, if we would say, តើអាត្មាអញមានទេកាលពីជាតិមុនកើតទេធ្លាប់កើតទេជាតិមុនណាតើអាត្មាអញអត់ធ្លាប់កើតទេដឹងក្នុងអតីតនឹងកាលពីមុនហ្នឹងបើធ្លាប់កើតជាអី What was I in the past ជាតិមុនជាស្អីទៅណាគិតចឹងដូចយើងឆ្ងល់ខ្លួនឯងយើងឥឡូវមនុស្សចឹងក៏ជាតិមុនឬប្រហែលពាន់ជាតិមុនយើងធ្លាប់កើតអត់ហើយយើងកើតជាអីណា How was I in the past តើកើតមកដោយរបៀបណាកើតឡើងដោយរបៀបណា After being what បន្ទាប់ពីជាតិមួយទៅជាតិមួយហ្នឹងយើងខ្លាចជាអីឆ្ងល់រឿងអញ្ចឹងណាអញ្ចឹងព្រះអង្គថាអត់ប្រយោជន៍ទេកុំទៅកើតការឆ្ងល់សង្ស័យវិជ្ជវិឆាទាំងអស់ហ្នឹងអាហ្នឹងវាធ្វើឲ្យកិលេសធ្វើឲ្យអាសវៈកើតឡើងនៅពេលដែលយើងមិនមាននៅយោនិសោមនសិការៈគឺឬក៏ការធ្វើទុកក្នុងចិត្តដោយខុសទំនងណាមិនមានប្រាជ្ញាហ្នឹង and then the questions about the future there are also 5. Will I exist in the future? Will I not exist in the future? What will I be in the future? How will I be in the future? After being what will I become in the future? So relatively the same. It's just on the past and then in the future, in the past and in the future. And the last one is in the present. Question about the present. Am I? ខ្ញុំហ៎ ខ្ញុំហ៎ Am I not មិនខ្ញុំទេ What am I? How am I? This sentient being, where did it come from? And where will it go? And where will it go? So wonders about oneself, relate with oneself in the present moment. So this altogether make up 16 wrong views that the Buddha mentioned. This shouldn't be wonder and this shouldn't be asked. Okay, the Buddha would not answer this question. Why? Because it only leads to canker, lead to impurity, defilement of the mind. It's useless. So don't ask such a question. It only give rise to canker. Right? Then avoiding this, the well-learned one. Number 2. Yoniso manasikara, proper or wise attention. The educated noble person, Araya Pukala, would see the world based on 4 noble truths, right? That's why you see that in the Four Noble Truths, or the first one from the Noble Eight Factors, right? The first one is the right understanding. Right understanding means the understanding about the Four Noble Truths, or understanding according to the Four Noble Truths. Seeing, acknowledging the suffering, understanding the cause of suffering, cessation of suffering, and the way leading to the cessation of suffering. So this is the right seeing, from the educated noble person, Ariya Pukala, because they have a right understanding about life. That is why they can get rid of cankers. Right? Yeah. Because of this right seeing or right knowledge, it will lead to non-arising of cankers. Yeah. ឯងាយយល់គឺចែកជាពីរអញ្ចឹងណាញាតិញោមគឺបើកាលណាយើងរក្សាចិត្តខុសហើយធ្វើឲ្យយើងមាននៅសកាយតិដ្ឋិមាននៅមច្ឆាទិដ្ឋិណាកាលណាយល់ខុសញ៉ាំងឲ្យអាសវៈទាំងឡាយកើតឡើងឃើញទេអាសវៈដែលវានៅមិនទាន់កើតឲ្យកើតអាសវៈដែលមានហើយកាន់តែចម្រើនឡើងប៉ុន្តែព្រះអង្គសម្ដែងទៀតថាសម្រាប់អរិយបុគ្គលឬក៏បុគ្គលដែលមានប្រាជ្ញានេះមានយោនិសោមនសិការៈអាចកម្ចាត់បងនៅអាសវៈបានដោយការឃើញហ្នឹងគឺឃើញអីឃើញដោយត្រឹមត្រូវគឺឃើញដោយយោនិសោមនសិការៈឬក៏ឃើញណាផ្អែកទៅតាមអរិយសច្ចៈ4គឺឃើញនៅទុក្ខឃើញនៅការកើតឡើងនៃទុក្ខឃើញនៅការរំលត់ទុក្ខនិងវិធីសាស្ត្រនាំមកទៅរកការរំលត់ទុក្ខអាហ្នឹងទៅបង្ការឬក៏លះបង់នៅអាសវៈធម៌ទាំងឡាយនឹងបានដោយការឃើញហ្នឹងណានឹងអាសវាទស្សនាបហាតពាអាសវៈទាំងឡាយនឹងត្រូវបានលះបង់ដោយការឃើញណាគឺឃើញដោយត្រឹមត្រូវផ្អែកទៅតាមអរិយសច្ចៈ4អញ្ចឹងណា Yeah. So seeing things based on the Four Noble Truths, only then you can prevent, you can prevent cankers from arising, and you can remove, the cankers that have already arisen. Okay. After presenting this list of questions in the sutta, the Buddha states, when they attend improperly in this way, one of the following 6 views arises in them and is taken as a genuine fact. The view, see, you can read from the original sutta too. I just extracted exactly what it mentioned there. The view myself exists in an absolute sense. The view myself does not exist in absolute sense. The view I perceive the self with the self, and so on. I don't want to read everything, just make it short and for you to clearly understand the concept of the sutta. This is related with the wrong understanding, wrong view. This is called misconception, the thicket of views, the desert of views, the trick of view, the evasiveness of views, the fetters of view ណាអញ្ចឹងការដែលយល់ឬក៏ទិដ្ឋិទាំងអស់នឹងឯងគឺជាការយល់ខុសទេគឺជាការភ័ន្តច្រឡំគឺជាន័យថាទស្សនៈមួយដែលធ្វើឲ្យជាប់ជំពាក់ឲ្យច្បុកច្បល់ហ្នឹងហើយអញ្ចឹងបុគ្គលដែល uneducated ordinary person ហ្នឹង who is fettered by view is not free from rebirth. When you have this wrong view, it will also keep you in the long run of the samsara. You will never get away from suffering, right? Because you are bound by these wrong conceptions. For sure, old age, death, sorrow, lamentation, pain, sadness, distress will bind you in this long run of samsara. So this is the meaning. Okay, now we finish the first method, and then here comes the second method. Second method, Sangvara Pahatapa. Okay, Sangvara Pahatapa, removing by restraining. You give up the cankers by restraining guards again ណាយើងមិនសង្រួមណា restraining ហ្នឹងពាក្យបាលីលោកហៅថាសង្វរៈឬក៏សង្វរាបហាតាពាការលះបង់នៅអាសវៈដោយការសង្រួមហ្នឹងសង្រួមនៅអីសង្រួមនៅឥន្ទ្រីរបស់យើងហ្នឹងណាសង្រួមឥន្ទ្រីទាំង6ហ្នឹង so we restrain our six senses ណា restrain our six faculties indriya eye faculty ear faculty nose faculty tongue body and mind so method apply proper attention yoniso manasikara when you have a right attention when you have mindfulness then it will guard again all defilements from arising defilement that arise it will only arise through the five sense door or through the six senses because we have eye ear nose tongue body and mind so the defilements will arise through these six senses right through the way you see through the way you hear you smell you taste you touch you think even just thinking it will bring defilement defilement arises when you think in the wrong way right and then it arises through your eye through seeing hearing smelling tasting and touching so the method to avoid it to remove the defilement is to set your mind with proper attention wise attention ហ្នឹងហើយអញ្ចឹងកាលណាយើង មានការសង្រួមនៅឥន្ទ្រីទាំង6កិលេសនឹងអត់កើតទេអាសវៈអត់កើតទេព្រោះអាសវៈដែលកើតឡើងគឺកើតឡើងអាស្រ័យនឹងបញ្ចវិញ្ញាណឬក៏អាស្រ័យនឹងទ្វារ6ហ្នឹងអាយតនៈ6មានភ្នែកតិចច្រមុះអណ្ដាតកាយចិត្តហ្នឹងពេលដែលភ្នែកឃើញរូបល្អទៅយ៉ាងម៉េចមិនកើតតម្រេកណាការជាប់ចម្ពាក់នឹងកើតឡើងហ្នឹងអញ្ចឹងតាមរយៈចក្ខុវិញ្ញាណសោតវិញ្ញាណឬដឹងក្លិនដឹងរសផោតពៈនិងការគិតនេះជាហេតុនាំឲ្យកើតនៅកិលេសយើងធ្វើយ៉ាងម៉េចដើម្បីកុំឲ្យកិលេសនឹងកើតគឺសង្រួមនឹងឯងសង្រួមយ៉ាងម៉េចសង្រួមដោយការពិចារណាត្រូវណាពិចារណាត្រូវព្រះអង្គសម្ដែងច្រើនក្នុងប្រសោតផ្សេងៗហ្នឹងដោយការសង្រួមភ្នែកឥន្ទ្រីភ្នែកអញ្ចឹងសូម្បីតែបិណ្ឌបាតលោកអត់ឲ្យកិលេសមើលឆ្ងាយឆ្វេងឆ្វាច់ទេគឺសង្រួមមកជួនដើមហ្នឹងកិលេសមើលចុះក្រោមជុំវិញខ្លួនណាប្រមាណជាង1ម៉ែត្រ2ម៉ែត្រហ្នឹងមិនឲ្យកិលេសឆ្វេងឆ្វាយគ្រប់កន្លែងទេតែកិលេសទៅតាមរយៈភ្នែកហ្នឹងទៅអត់សង្រួមទេគឺនាំរឿងច្រើនណាញាតិញោមណាដោយពេលយើងអង្គុយសមាធិអញ្ចឹងមិនបានគ្រូឲ្យបិទភ្នែកទៅកាលណាដែលយើងសង្រួមភ្នែកទៅវាអត់សូវមានការជាប់ជំពាក់ដោយចក្ខុវិញ្ញាណហ្នឹងបើភ្នែកចេះតែបើកវាចេះតែមានរឿងជាប់រហូតដល់ញាតិញោម right so that's why in the meditation practice the teacher would guide you to sit down with your eye closed because by so doing you will restrain your eye from seeing this and that so when the more you see the more your mind get distracted right you see this you see that so you will have like divided attention right you look at this you look at that so your mind get attached to those things from your seeing right so it is important to restrain one's six senses through eye ear nose tongue body and mind when it is well restrained well guarded so it will not arouse attachment it will not give rise to any cankers or defilement right so we have to guard again this six sense doors okay very easy yeah for more detail you can read to the original sutta defilements given up by restraint what are the defilements that should be given up by restraint take a mendicant who reflecting rationally leaves restraining the faculties of eye for the distressing and favorites defilement that might arise in someone who lives without restraint of the eye faculty do not arise when there is such restraint. Reflecting rationally, they live restraining difficulty of the ear, the nose, the tongue, the body, the mind. Right? So, okay, this is the second method. Then we come to the third method. Third method, by using Padisevana Pahatapa, Padisevana, by using or making use of the four requisites. ចឹងបដិសេវនានេះគឺដោយការសែបគប់ដោយការសែបឬប្រើប្រាស់ពាក្យថាសែបហ្នឹងគឺប្រើប្រាស់ហ្នឹងសែបគប់ប្រើប្រាស់ដូចពាក្យយើងប្រើពាក្យសេវាអញ្ចឹងណាសេវនាហ្នឹងសេវា service យើងប្រើសេវាទូរស័ព្ទឬក៏សេវាកម្មនៃពាក្យថាសេវាឬក៏សេវនាហ្នឹងគឺការប្រើប្រាស់ការសែបគប់ making use of the four requisites ចតុបច្ចយៈ What are the four requisites in Buddhism? Yeah, there are Jivara, Jivara, Pindapata, Senasana, and Kilana. Jivara means robes, or this is when the Buddha taught to the monks. So of course he must talk about robes. But for lay people, yeah, it's about clothing, right? Clothing, fooding, lodging, and medication. Right? These are the four necessities of life. Yeah. We can call four requisites because it is very required for everyone to live, for everyone to sustain. So there must have these four requisites, or we can call the four necessities. They are very necessary to maintain one's life. You cannot live without clothing, fooding, lodging or accommodation, and medication. These are the four needs. So robes, in terms of Bhikkhu, the first one, how you make use of the robe. You only use it to cover up the private parts, to ward off cold, heat, mosquitoes, and so on. ចឹងភិក្ខុប្រើប្រាស់នៅបច្ច័យ4នៅប្រសង់យើងលោកដឹងហើយក្នុងtăng khắp bạch về cái nạ thọ tây tập bạch về cái nạឬក៏បច្ចវេកនវិធីទាំង4ហ្នឹងដែលយើងសូត្រតាំងពីយថាបច្ចយ៉ាងប្រវត្តមានឹងធិតមតមេវេតាំងយតិទាំងជ័យបរាំងទតុបបញ្ញកោពុកលោធិតមតកោនិសត្តោនិជីវោសញ្ញោអីចឹងទៅសัพពានិបនិមានិជ័យវរាហើយបដិសង្ខាយោនិសោជ័យវរាំងបដិសង្ខាយោនិសោបណ្ឌបាតាំងរហូតដល់អច្ចមយាណាអច្ចមយាបច្ចវេកថ្វាយ៉ាងណាចឹងសម្រាប់ប្រសង់លោកមានធម៌ពិចារណាតកតងទៅនឹងបច្ច័យ4ហ្នឹងតាំងអំពីការទទួលនៅបច្ច័យ4ហ្នឹងពេលកំពុងមុននឹងទទួលពេលកំពុងទទួលពេលកំពុងប្រើប្រាស់នៅបច្ច័យ4ហ្នឹងពេលប្រើប្រាស់រួចហើយលោកត្រូវពិចារណាធម៌ហ្នឹងទាំងយប់ទាំងថ្ងៃទើបមិនជំពាក់នៅមិនជំពាក់ញាតិញោមយើងនិយាយភាសាសាមញ្ញថាពេលដែលលោកពិចារណានៅទៅតាមបច្ចវេកនវិធីហ្នឹងទៅលោកប្រើប្រាស់បច្ច័យ4ហ្នឹងអត់មានទោសទេណាតែបើលោកអត់ពិចារណាទេមានទោសអញ្ចឹងបានពេលដែលប្រសង់ទៅសូត្រធម៌ពេលល្ងាចពេលព្រឹកថ្វាយអង្គមព្រះហ្នឹងគឺលោកសូត្រធម៌ហ្នឹងហើយសូត្រធម៌ហ្នឹងដើម្បីពិចារណានៅបច្ច័យ4នេះកុំឲ្យមានការជាប់ជំពាក់ព្រោះបើមិនអញ្ចឹងទេយើងភ្លេចខ្លួនយើងប្រើប្រាស់ទៅធ្វើឲ្យមានការជាប់ជំពាក់ទៅជាការប្រើប្រាស់ហ្នឹងដើម្បីឲ្យកើតនៅកិលេសដើម្បីឲ្យកើតនៅតម្រេកទៅវិញវាអត់ត្រូវតាំងពីចង្ហាន់បិណ្ឌបាតតាំងពីស្បង់ជីវោឃើញទេស្បង់ជីវោប្រើប្រាស់មិនមែនដើម្បីស្អាតដើម្បីប្រអួតគ្នាដើម្បីបង្ហាញរាងបង្ហាញសាច់ដុំទេមិនមែនទេណាហើយចង្ហាន់បិណ្ឌបាតប្រើប្រាស់ហើយហ្នឹងមិនមែនឲ្យមានកម្លាំងទៅបោកច្បាប់ដោយអ្នកបណ្ដាលឬក៏តាក់តែងស្អាតរាងកាយដោយស្ត្រីក្នុងបរិយអ្នករបាំអីជាដើមមិនមែនទេប៉ុន្តែប្រើប្រាស់នៅអាហារបិណ្ឌបាតគ្រាន់តែដើម្បីញ៉ាំងនៅជីវតិន្ទ្រីនេះឲ្យប្រព្រឹត្តទៅណាដើម្បីយ៉ាងម៉េចកុំឲ្យមានសេចក្តីស្រែកឃ្លានអីជាដើមហ្នឹងលក្ខនឹងលក្ខណា So this is how the Buddha advises the monk to wisely make use of the four requisites. In terms of robes, it's just to cover up the private parts, to protect cold, heat, mosquitoes, and so on. And for alms food, the monk receive food not for fun, for indulgence, abdomen, decoration, but only to sustain this body, this life, to avoid harm and to support spiritual practice ណាដើម្បីអភិរក្សសង្ងំនៅក្នុងកម្មដ្ឋាន spiritual support spiritual practice ណា and for lodging accommodation the monk only use it for the sake of warding off cold and heat for warding off the touch of flies mosquitoes wind sun and reptiles to shelter from harsh weather and to enjoy retreat ណា to enjoy retreat អភិរក្សសង្ងំក្នុងកម្មដ្ឋាន ប្រើប្រាស់នៅទីសេនាសនៈហ្នឹងណាគ្រាន់តែដើម្បីការពារនៅត្រជាក់ការពារនៅកម្ដៅការពារនៅរបោមមុខខ្យល់កម្ដៅថ្ងៃឬក៏សត្វតូចសត្វធំការពារនៅអាកាសធាតុត្រជាក់ក្ដៅហើយអភិរក្សសង្ងំនៅក្នុងកម្មដ្ឋានហ្នឹងគឺជារបៀបបដិសេវនានៅក្នុងសេនាសនៈទានកន្លែងរស់នៅកុដិសាលានេះមិនឲ្យយើងជាប់ជំពាក់ទេណាហ្នឹង ទី4តើតើនឹង medication or medicine right the monk use medicine only for the sake warding off pains of illness and to promote good health this is the purpose of using medicine right so not just for monk but for every one of you you can take this into reflection why the Buddha mentioned this method if we want to overcome defilement of the mind we have to use all kinds of method possible to make an end to the defilement because you know that as long as there is defilement there will be suffering right because defilement let's say like the craving or tanha they are the cause of suffering in this world so I must apply any kind of method here in order to maintain my peace of mind to balance my livelihood to actually gain true happiness and peace right it's a good method sometimes we may never thought about this kind of method but when we learn the teachings of the Buddha so all the darkness has been removed when we have the right understanding learning the great wisdom from the enlightened ones like the Buddha it's really a very it's a hidden treasure right very rare treasure that anyone have revealed to this world it is very important so I think we can take any of the method into our daily application to make your livelihood a meaningful a peaceful one we have to develop more practice more in any way possible just like this we already learned the three ways or the three methods to remove defilement first by seeing second by restraining third by using right so what we see to remove the canker is to have a right attention and to reflect wisely based on the Four Noble Truths, right? And then the second one by restraining what? Restraining the six senses, eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, right? Regarding the way we see, hear, smell, taste, touch, and think. And the third one, remove defilements by using of what? Using the four requisites in our daily life, when we use the clothing, what is the purpose of using the clothes? It's just to cover up your private parts and to protect, from cold or heat or mosquito and so on, not to attach, or to promote your beauty for others to get attachment, ចឹងគ្រាន់តែរឿងកៅអៅស្លៀកពាក់នេះមួយញាតិញោមអាចប្រើជាប្រយោជន៍បានច្រើននៅពេលដែលយើងយល់អំពីគោលដៅនៃការប្រើប្រាស់ ហ្នឹងហើយបើយើងប្រើដោយការជាប់ជំពាក់ញាតិញោមក៏ចំណាយច្រើនដែរជាពិសេសបាសិកាស្ត្រីឯហ្នឹងគឺភាគច្រើនមានការប្រើប្រាស់ចំណាយច្រើនណារឿងសម្លៀកបំពាក់ហ្នឹងបើស្រុកខ្មែរយើងមានទៅតាមពិធីបុណ្យទៅតាមរដូវអីផងអញ្ចឹងត្រូវចំណាយលុយច្រើនគ្រាន់តែរបស់ស្លៀកពាក់គ្រាន់ដើម្បីបិទបាំងរាងកាយបិទបាំងគេខ្មាស់ការពារលងាក្តៅហ្នឹងណាបើយើងគ្រាន់តែប្រើក្នុងគោលដៅហ្នឹងញាតិញោមអត់ចំណាយលុយច្រើនទេប៉ុន្តែនៅពេលដែលយើងប្រើដើម្បីបំពេញតណ្ហាឬក៏បង្អួតអ្នកដតីបង្អួតសង្គមណាឬក៏ឲ្យចូលចោះនឹងគេអាហ្នឹងដែលយើងទៅចំណាយច្រើនមែនតើនឹងមិនតាន់និយាយដល់គ្រឿង make up ផងនឹងនិយាយដល់រឿងស្លៀកពាក់មួយតាំងពីស្បែកជើងតាំងពីគ្រឿងអលង្ការអីទៀតយើងមិនបាច់និយាយហ្នឹងហើយអញ្ចឹងច្រើនយ៉ាងញាតិញោមណាយើងអាចយកបសោតហ្នឹងទៅ reflect ឡើងវិញតើយើងអាចកាត់បន្ថយតង់ណាខ្លះដែលវាមិនជាការចាំបាច់ទេព្រោះរឿងចាំបាច់មានតែ4ទេណាព្រះអង្គសម្ដែងពីបច្ច័យ4ហ្នឹងវាជាគ្រឿងអាស្រ័យដែលចាំបាច់ជីវិតមិនអាចខ្វះបានអញ្ចឹងត្រូវតែមានបច្ច័យ4ហ្នឹងគ្រឿងស្លៀកពាក់ណាហើយប្រើដើម្បីអីទៅគ្រឿងស្លៀកពាក់ហ្នឹងទី2ណាអាហារត្រូវតែមានប៉ុន្តែប្រើដើម្បីអីមិនមែនដើម្បីជាប់ជំពាក់រសជាតិទេប៉ុន្តែដើម្បីទ្រទ្រង់ជីវិតឲ្យប្រព្រឹត្តទៅទេណាទី3តើតើនឹងកន្លែងស្នាក់នៅណាអាសេនាសនៈនេះទីជ្រកអាស្រ័យហ្នឹងដើម្បីអីដែលយើងត្រូវការហ្នឹងណាហ្នឹងហើយទី4តើតើទៅនឹងរោគថ្នាំកែរោគឬក៏តើតើនឹងព្យាបាលភេសជ្ជៈទៀតណាបងអញ្ចឹងពេលដែលយើងប្រើប្រាស់ខ្សែគប់ដោយត្រឹមត្រូវវាមិនញ៉ាំងឲ្យកិលេសហ្នឹងកើតឡើងឬក៏ចម្រើនឡើងទេធ្វើឲ្យកិលេសហ្នឹងកិលេសដែលកើតឲ្យវារលត់ទៅកិលេសដែលមិនទាន់កើតមិនឲ្យវាកើតឡើងបានអញ្ចឹងអាហ្នឹងទៅជាការប្រើប្រាស់ដ៏ត្រឹមត្រូវអាចកម្ចាត់បងនៅអាសវៈទាំងឡាយបាន so you can take into reflection about your daily usage in relation with these 4 requisites, right? Your daily life, how you make use of your clothing. If you understand the real purpose of using cloth, you may, reduce some of, or you may reduce the, some of the unimportant clothes, right? Saves a lot of money. And the same apply with the food, with the accommodation, and with the medicines. Yeah. Okay, so tomorrow we will finish the other 4 methods. Now it's time. Okay, all the time's up. Any question so far? Okay. So let us end the class by sharing merit. ចឹងបងអោនចិត្តដើម្បីចែករំលែកនៅបុណ្យកុសលទាំងអស់គ្នាណាបាទទុក្ខបត្តាចនិតទុក្ខាបយាបត្តាចនិព្ភយាសោកបត្តាចនិសោកាអន្តសពេពិបានិណោ may all be well be happy be liberated from physical suffering and mental suffering អនុមោទនាសុខសប្បាយទាំងអស់គ្នាGoodbye everyone.
Thank you, Bante.